All right, the title of today. All right, the title of today's discussion is Faith That Sees, the Evidence of God Within. Basically, we want to talk about how manifestation is the proof of God. There is no proof of God in religion, right? You're simply chasing after doctrine and listening to people sell you fear. But we're going to talk about how manifestation is the proof of God. So trigger warning. All right, so you say, well, you could work on your delivery. Don't care. All right, let's get right into it. All right, so the quote that we're actually going to talk about is, it is no use walking. It is no use walking anywhere to preach unless our walking is our preaching. There is no use walking anywhere to preach unless our walking is our preaching. Let's get into it. Let me not forget Instagram. All right, here we go. Outside of manifestation, there is no evidence for the Spirit of God. Spirit itself is unseen, untouched, untasted by the physical senses, yet everything the senses experience is its very expression. The moment a flower blooms, a desire fulfills itself, a prayer becomes reality, Spirit has revealed its form. Manifestation is not separate from God, it is God translated into matter. So we're going to dive into this. What is manifestation? What is God? Well, God is all things, right? But manifestation is the proof of God. Not just manifest your SP. All right, we're going to go a little bit deeper. What isn't a manifestation of God? What is not a manifestation of God? Well, the answer is it's all a manifestation of God, right? Religious belief often asks you to worship what you cannot prove, to cling to promises of salvation in some far-off future while fearing eternal separation if you question. But the mystic refuses to settle for secondhand truth, right? This is what this journey is about, right? I refuse to settle for some secondhand truth. You can't scare me into believing something. I need to experience it. This is the path of bravery, okay? He seeks not merely to believe in God, right? What good is believing in God? I seek to know God as consciousness itself, all right? So this is what we're going to talk about. So to believe in God, anybody can do that. Any child can be scared into believing in God, but we seek to know God as consciousness itself, which is why you come down this path. This is a path of proving God's existence. And as you have seen, right, a lot of you are starting to really get into it, right? With man, it might be impossible. But with God, nothing is impossible, right? I am is undefeated, right? I am wins all battles, right? You're starting to see it trickle into your relationships, into your money, into your health, into your family's health. All of these things, you're just being proven God over and over and over and over and over. Not through fear, but through experience, direct experience. You've never been left behind. You've never been abandoned. Okay? So blind faith versus living knowing. Blind faith versus living knowing. Okay? Blind faith is the hope that something unseen may one day intervene. Living faith is the realization that the unseen is already here, operating through you as the very breath you take, right? So this is what we're moving to, right? We're moving from sitting in the pew, praying to a God out there, right? The preacher just selling hope. One of you in here has been waiting for a breakthrough and you about to get it. And everybody's going crazy because it might be talking about me. This is going from believing in some far off distant deity to experiencing God in every moment of your life, seeing God in every moment of your life. God is in the grass, right? God is in the phone. God is in the water you drink. The Spirit of God consumes everything, flows through everything. The completeness, the fullness of God is expressed within everything. And so you seek to know, not simply to blindly believe, but you seek to know. Beautiful. All right. So when Jesus said the kingdom of God is within you, he was not speaking metaphorically. Right? He was revealing that the proof of spirit is not found in temples, doctrines, right? External miracles. It is found in your awareness. This is where the proof is. Now, what am I hinting to? What am I pointing you towards here? What am I pointing you towards? Okay? Proof of spirit is not found in temples, doctrines. It's not even found in the external manifestations. Those things will come, of course. Of course those things show up. But what are they the byproduct of? What truly is the manifestation? What truly is the miracle? It's not the thing showing up. It's when it clicks. It's that realization that, oh shit, I am already it. Oh man, God is with me. I've never been alone. I've never been unloved. I've never been abandoned. I've never been betrayed. I've always been unconditionally supported. This is the manifestation. It's not when that person comes through. The person doesn't even exist. It's just you and God. And even that's a concession. It is just God. You don't even exist. It is just God. You're simply the awareness, the all that you are, simply choosing to have a perspective of one person, which is you. That's it. It's all you. Okay? So religion says, believe and maybe you will see. Right? You know, if it's not an ego desire. Right? And if it's in God's best interest, right? It's just going to contradict the very word that says whatsoever you ask. Whatsoever. Whatsoever you ask, you'll receive. Right? Religion says believe and maybe you will see. Pray enough, maybe. Right? Confess, maybe. Okay? Consciousness says see within and you will believe no more because you will know. Look within, see within, and you will believe no more because you will know. You know, belief is for children. Right? We know. We experience God firsthand. I simply know. It's when I stop trying to believe in something out there and simply know. Be still, right? Cease striving and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Right? So to the unenlightened, manifestation is coincidence. To the awakened, it is communion with God. Beautiful. Right? Section 2, the fear that blinds. Most religious conditioning survives through fear. Fear of rejection by God, fear of hell, fear of divine punishment, but fear cannot birth revelation. Fear is just fear. Fear is a terrible teacher. There's no revelations in fear. Fear keeps you looking outward, waiting for a Savior that never left. There's nowhere for this Savior to return to because it never left. Just trying to outsource our power, right? Constantly living in the illusion of separation. The path of realization begins when you turn inward and discover that the very voice you pray to is the same voice that listens. Blasphemy. Right? Does this mean you worship the self? Shut up and listen. Right? It doesn't mean to worship myself, right? There is only God. There is only God. Right? There is no you. Even saying me, right, is a concession. There is only God. There is only God. The voice, the same voice that rises up in Jesus, in Krishna, in the child, in the country, across the globe, in me, in you, is the voice of God. There is only one voice. There is only one mind. There is only one word. There is only God. There is only God. All right? So the path of realization begins when you turn inward and discover that the very voice you pray to is the same voice that listens. God is not a distant judge. God is the electricity animating the soul. When you realize this, miracles are no longer interruptions of nature. They are the nature of spirit itself. Obviously, you stand in the middle of a miracle. You stand within God, yet still constantly are looking out there for some other thing, for some Savior beyond. But God is omnipresent. God is not apart from anything. Everything, right? Everything is animated with God. There is nothing outside of God. All right? So here we go. So as 1 John 4:18 reminds us, there is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. Fear is the veil that blinds the eye of the heart. It convinces you that God is separate. that salvation is somewhere ahead, that you must earn what was never withheld. Yet love reveals that the very breath moving through you is the same breath that breathed creation into being. Fear builds temples of distance. Love tears the veil and makes the body its holy place, right? You are already the temple of the Most High. There's no separation, okay? The path of realization begins when you turn inward and discover that the very voice you pray to is the same voice that listens, all right? Let's break that one down. The mystics of every tradition have whispered this truth. All right, so here's a quote from Meister Eckhart that we always go to. Once probably every 2 discussions, right? The eye with which I see God is the same eye with which God sees me. Beautiful. This is the end of seeking and the birth of knowing. When the seeker dissolves, the kingdom that seemed lost is revealed to have never departed. In that silence between thought and breath, you feel the pulse of the Eternal One whispering, "Be still and know that I am God." Right? Then the miraculous ceases to feel miraculous. It becomes the natural rhythm of the infinite recognizing itself through you. When you release the notion of a distant deity, you begin to see God in every unfolding. The rain that nourishes, the stranger who smiles, the quote-unquote intuition that guides, the Course of Miracles, right? So a quote from the Course of Miracles. Miracles are natural. When they do not occur, something has gone wrong. How could they not occur? Because we are not seeing with the eye of God. We have forgotten that we are God. We no longer are walking around expecting things to unfold beautifully. We are no longer perceiving the love that is everything, the beauty within everything. This is the only thing that keeps you from receiving miracles every day, day to day, moment by moment. Okay? Miracles are not interruptions of nature, they are nature. The movement of the divine intelligence revealing its own harmony. When you live in that awareness, you realize heaven has never been a destination, only a recognition, right? Pointing back to the kingdom is within you. It's all pointing back, right? So section 3, the evidence of the invisible. Okay. The evidence of the invisible. Every manifestation is the footprint of the infinite walking through time. When thought becomes form, spirit has spoken. When healing takes place, spirit has remembered its wholeness. Do you hear that? That was a bar. When healing takes place, spirit has remembered its wholeness. Through who? Through you. It's always through you. When provision appears in lack, spirit has recognized itself as abundance. How? Through who? Through you. It's always through you. Right? When healing takes place, it's you remembering your wholeness. This is a gem right here. How do I heal? This is a constant question, right? How do I heal? When healing takes place, spirit has remembered its wholeness. It's simply you remembering your wholeness, remembering your perfection, remember your divinity. When provision appears in lack, how do I pay this? How does the money show up? What about this situation? What about this? What about that? What about spirit has recognized itself as abundance? You've simply remembered who you are. The money doesn't come from out there. The money unfolds from within you, from you. Even within makes it seem like it's some distant place within. The money simply unfolds from you. It's all about remembrance. You feel the sickness because you haven't remembered you are whole. This is when you start to truly make prayer your state of being. Meaning, it would be a disservice for me to speak to any of you and see you as sick. See you as in lack. Why? Because in my reality, I'm choosing to recognize God within you every time that we talk. When we sit down and talk, right, you tell me, Alex, this and that and that and this and yada, yada, yada. You want to argue for your limitations and fight for your lack, right? It would be a disservice for me to look at you and agree and say, yes, you're right. when you are sitting down, right, with your mother, with a loved one, and they're telling you how the doctor said this. Except SP is the exception. The doctor said this situation happened, right? It would be a disservice for you to not see them as whole, for you not see them as God. This is what it's saying. When healing takes place, spirit has remembered its wholeness. You have remembered that this is a whole beautiful vessel of the divine. Nothing less. Right? When provision appears in lack, when the money shows up, when all of a sudden money starts showing up out of nowhere. It's not out of nowhere. It's out of you. Whether it's within your life, a friend's life, it's all within you. This even gives a different meaning when you're talking to somebody and you're like, bro, it's all going to work out. Are you saying that, or are you choosing to see them that way? Because choosing to see them that way allows miracles to unfold in their life because it's your reality. Do you hear what I'm saying? I trust you do. I trust that you do. So as the Gospel of Thomas says, right, the kingdom is spread out upon the earth and men do not see it. Right? Going back to that illusion of religion, right? Using fear, simply teaching you about God, right? This is why at the heart of any spiritual practice should be connection. It should be the knowing that you're source. Otherwise, you're just leaning on doing stuff for some distant reward, for some distant deity, right? You might as well worship Santa Claus at that point. You might as well just decide to make the best Christmas letter every day. If you are treating God like an external, far away deity that has a list of naughty and nice, which is the same way that most people describe God. If you replace the word God with Santa Claus, it'd be the exact same. Only difference is instead of not getting presents, you get placed in a fiery pit of burning whatever for eternity, right? That has nothing to do with love. That has everything to do with fear. It has nothing to do with love. That doesn't sound like the loving creator that I know, that I've experienced, that it's unconditionally supported me. Because it's not. Because it's absolutely not, all right? So the mystics know. The mystic knows this saying is not about a place, but a perception. The kingdom is not hidden in the clouds or buried in scripture. It's not where the kingdom is, right? So when we pick up the word, people are like, oh, get into your word. And they pick up this book. This book is not the word. You are the word. You are the manifestation of I am. You are the walking I am. The book is just a book written by men. You could argue me up and down. No, it was written by God. It's the word of God. Okay, cool. So if I have a download right now and I write a book, are you going to consider that the word of God? No, that's different, right? No, it's not. It's all the same. A book written by man is simply a book written by man. Now, while you can pull information and truth from it, I'm not debating that. I'm not debating that at all. And I believe that scripture is a beautifully written book. However, to consider this God, consider this the quote unquote word, you've deviated from praising spirit. You've deviated from worshiping spirit, and now you are worshiping a book. You've deviated completely from worshiping spirit, and now you are simply worshiping a book, right? So that's what you want. Cool. Every breath, right? Every tree, every ordinary moment hums with divine presence. Yet the eyes trained by separation cannot see what is everywhere. The mind conditioned by duality looks outward for heaven and misses the one unfolding within. The veil is not over the world, right? There's not a veil over the world. The veil is simply over your perception. The world is beautiful. It's our perception that is veiled, okay? So the veil is not over the world, but over perception itself. When Jesus spoke of the kingdom, he was not pointing to geography, right? He was just talking about pure awareness. The quiet revelation that the sacred is not coming, it is here. It's already here. You stand in the middle of a miracle, right? And we still are looking for signs. To see the kingdom is not to escape the world, but to awaken within it. To seek the kingdom is not to wait for something after death. It is to awaken to the realization that you're standing in it. You are it. You've never been absent from God. God has never went anywhere. You're not waiting for anything to return. There's nothing coming back because it's already here. The fullness of God, the omnipresence of God could not leave, or else it wouldn't be omnipresent. If I am here and God is way out there, God is not omnipresent. God is there. But that is not the nature of spirit. The nature of spirit is the fabric of reality. There is nothing absent from God. There is nothing absent from God. Okay? It is to look upon the ordinary and find the extraordinary, gazing back. The wind becomes the Spirit's whisper. The face of a stranger becomes the countenance of God. The proof of God, right? And your own heartbeat echoes eternity's rhythm. Heaven has never been absent, only unseen. Right? The more that we dissolve the illusion of separation, it's as if we lift the veil over our eyes and we begin to see everything the way that it is supposed to be seen. It's perfection. But the more that we forget and we dwell in lack and limitation, really the illusion of separation, right? The more that we dwell within that illusion of separation, the more that we just miss the beauty, the God that is already surrounding us. One of the more beautiful quotes that we went through recently, I think it was Rumi, right? No, it was Kabir. It was Kabir. It said, I feel sorry or I laugh when I hear that the fish is thirsty. Right? Because this quote just speaks to the human condition. Right? You are surrounded by the substance of God, yet still search and seek and reach for something out there. Instead of simply sitting down and realizing that the one that's seeking is the one being sought. The one that is asking, where is God, is the same awareness that is God. It's all coming from the same. It's all one. There is no separation. Even the quote unquote feeling of separation is part of the divine dance of forgetting and remembering. Right? It always goes back to that question, right? How would you taste the love of another without the illusion of separation? So even that, for quote unquote, forgetting is divine. And then the remembering is divine. And then we went to Genesis 1:31 where it said God looked upon it all and said it was very good. Then we went to the Hebrew of very good. And what did it mean? It meant whole, harmonious, perfect. All paths exist within it already. Meaning even within infinity, infinite paths are built within infinity. And on each of those infinite paths, another infinite path is built within each. And in every one of those infinite paths, the fullness of God is there. It's not a matter of whether God is absent or not. That's impossible, right? It's a matter of, are you still seeing through the eyes of separation, through the eyes of duality? Or have you woken up to the realization? Have you remembered that everything is perfect, everything is complete, everything is God? All right? So heaven has never been absent, right? Only unseen. So the beautiful Rumi quote, right? What you seek is seeking you. What you seek is seeking you. The divine is not waiting for your worthiness. It's not waiting for you to climb some imaginary, man-made ladder of righteousness. There is no ladder of righteousness. This is the paradox, right? Where Jesus said, what you do to the least of me, to the least among you, you have done to me. The paradox is there is no least. It's pointing to a bigger truth. What's the bigger truth? There is no least or greatest among you. None. There is no rank. There is no rank in the spirit, right? When we start speaking like that, that's pure ego. I'm chosen, I'm not chosen. It's simply a decision. You can make a decision that you're chosen, sure. But the spirit, the substance of God is omnipresent within all of us, 100%. 100%, okay? The moment you open your eyes of awareness, the world itself becomes scripture and every breath becomes communion. To the mind trapped in dogma, miracles are rare. To the mind trapped in the illusion of separation, the miracle is very rare. The miracle is rare. To the heart awakened in awareness, life itself is the miracle. The one who truly chooses to see the divine, who remembers who they are, life itself is the miracle. All right. So section 4, from belief to embodiment. To know God within is not arrogance, right? I was breaking this down. I said, okay, well, let's think about it like this, okay? When you walk in the knowing that you are God, okay? I'm God. You are God, okay? It's just a fact. It's not a feeling. It's just a fact. It just is what it is, all right? When you walk in that knowing, now I want you to ask yourself, all right, now, whether you believe God is a distant deity or not, okay? Let's just play the make-believe game. Let's play the make-believe game, all right? Would you speak the way that you speak about yourself about God if you were God? Fairy tale, right? Well, the truth is, of course not. But you are God, right? So we can think of alignment as, all right, would I speak about myself this way if I knew that I was God? Would I speak lack over my life? It's not working out. Or would I simply be expecting everything to work perfectly? Because it is. Would I look at the situation and say, situation might not look ideal, but the God within me is perfect, so the situation is unfolding perfectly. It must be, because I am that I am. Situation is what it is, but I am that I am. What you see is remembrance, right? Remembrance is the key. Because from that remembrance, now I walk as the creator. I know myself. Right? I know myself. Right? So it is to walk with the confidence of one who no longer asks, is God real? But lives as the answer. You begin to see that every circumstance bends to the frequency of your awareness. I know y'all love the word frequency. All right? So faith then is not a desperate hope. It is divine certainty. It is the stillness that says I and the Father are one. And from that knowing, reality rearranges itself to match your remembrance. All right? There's no difference. Working, not working perfectly. It's all perfect. It's all perfect. Okay? It's all perfect. Section 5, the new gospel, God in motion. All right? So the new gospel is not about waiting for heaven. Heaven is not a place. It's a remembrance. It's a perception. All right? But recognizing heaven unfolding through you. It is not a belief in a far-off deity, but an intimate union with the very source of all existence. This is what the mystics, prophets, and awakened souls across time have all cried out, that the evidence of God is not in what you believe, but in what you become. It's in your remembrance. Okay? Here we go. All right. So Jesus said, Luke 17:21. I'm just going to read through this. All right. Jesus said, Luke 17:21, the kingdom of God is within you, revealing that paradise is not a promise deferred, but a presence discovered. Heaven is not somewhere you go. It is something you allow to awaken through consciousness. The divine is not an external rescuer, but the life breathing itself into form as you. When you realize this, salvation ceases to be a transaction and becomes a transformation. You stop praying for doors to open and realize you are the door through which heaven enters the world. Beautiful. It is not a belief in a far-off deity, but an intimate union with the very source of all existence. All right? This is the same, let me skip forward. This is what the mystics, prophets, and awakened souls across time have all cried out, that the evidence of God is not in what you believe, but in what you become. Faith was never meant to be an escape from life, but an embodiment of it. That's what faith has always been meant to be. All right? And so, quote from St. Francis of Assisi, okay? St. Francis of Assisi. It is no use walking anywhere to preach unless our walking is our preaching. Beautiful. Your life becomes the sermon. Your presence the proof. When your being radiates peace in chaos. When your love dissolves fear. When your awareness turns the mundane into the miraculous. Let me say that again. When your being radiates peace and chaos, when your love dissolves fear, when your awareness turns the mundane into the miraculous, then the world beholds living scripture. Heaven is not coming. It is already here, clothed in your consciousness. Okay? Clothed in your consciousness. Okay? Beautiful. All right, couple of reflection questions for you. All right, number one. Where in my life have I been practicing blind faith instead of living knowing? Ask yourself that question, right? Go ahead and be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself, right? Okay. Remember, these questions should highlight any kind of blind spots you have. Right? Just allows you to think and reflect back on how you've been living for the past day, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many, right? And build some awareness. Because once you have awareness on what you're doing, that is the healing. Appreciate you, brother. Once you have awareness on the blind spots, that is the healing. You are healed. You're aware of it, you are healed. Now, walking forward is a choice. Okay? Because when I say consciousness awareness, right? Walking in consciousness. Okay, I'm not talking about intelligence, right? We tend to confuse consciousness with some kind of spiritual intelligence is just intelligence. Information is just information. Consciousness is my awareness. You can call it presence, awareness, consciousness, whatever you want to call it, right? It's simply walking through life and being aware. All right, cool. I have heard this question. What manifestations in my life have already revealed the presence of spirit? Now, if I think about that, what manifestations in my life have already revealed the presence of spirit? I can think of several off top. Right? My mother, healing, me getting out of financial crisis, right? Going from sleeping in the car to not checking the bank account, sleeping on less than the car, right? I can think of all kinds of miraculous things. All right? But now I can go further. I can say, well, God is everything, right? And I can realize that I don't even have to look far. I can look at this phone, just allows me to reach more. A healthy body, a body period, the experience of life, even birth is a miracle. Looking outside a beautiful day, looking outside a rainy day, it's all a miracle. There's water falling from the sky. There's a big yellow or orange orb in the sky. And it feels good on my skin, right? It's all a miracle. Okay? It's all the presence of spirit. Everything is proof of spirit. Everything. So now, when I'm aware of that, right? Okay, now I'm aware of that. I can walk through life and I can draw on that knowing. I can draw on that remembrance. Let's go to a different question. So that first one was, where in my life have I been practicing blind faith instead of living knowing? Okay. Let's break this down. Okay. Well, maybe I'm hoping that the money shows up. Blind faith, right? I'm not going to the inner experience of source. I'm not truly remembering that I am all that there is, that I am the wellspring of God, right? So I'm going to the church. And they're preaching to me. They're telling me, all your troubles are going to fade away. Right? Just believe in God out there. And confess and come up to the front. And I'm hoping. It feels good, right? The dopamine, it feels good. And so I'm hoping for some breakthrough in the future. Blind faith. That something that somebody else told me is true. Or have I went to becoming that living knowing, right? I understand that I'm God. And I don't just walk in that knowing by vocabulary. What are the aspects of God? Well, God is prosperity, right? God is love. So if I am the center, if I'm the source of all these things, then I already radiate these things. So if I am radiating these things, when I walk in the room, right, the prosperity, the love that flows from me, it animates everything around me. And now I simply walk and recognize myself. I'm constantly walking and recognizing myself, right? Everything is as I am, which is perfect. Have I switched from blind faith to living knowing? Okay. Number 3. What fears, this is a good question, what fears or beliefs still make me look for God outside of myself? What fears or beliefs still make me look for God outside of myself? Where are you looking for proof of God? Well, if this shows up out there, then God exists. If my musty ass SP comes back, then God must exist. If this money shows up, then God must exist. Where are you waiting for God to return? Right? Even Jesus said, it's not going to return. No one will say low here or low there, for the kingdom is within you. This is greater than just waiting for. I want you to really think about this. Okay, let's really, really think about this. All right, you waiting for something outside of you to show up to prove to you that you're doing your manifestation right, to prove to you that God exists and you truly are God. It's the same as waiting for God to descend from the clouds. It's the same thing. You're waiting for something to show up outside of you to give you proof. It's the same. Argue with your mom. Argue with your mom. It's all the same. You're waiting for something outside of you to prove who you are. And you have to switch from waiting for something out there to knowing. You have to. You got to do it. You are already that which you desire to be. And the reason why you don't see it is because you refuse to accept the truth that you are already it. Let me say that one more time. This was a gem. Just dropped the gem right here at 37 minutes and 26 seconds. The gem is this. You waiting for something out there to prove to you that you're doing your manifestation right. To prove to you that you are God. To prove to you that God is near, to prove to you that you are supported, is no different than waiting for God to descend from the clouds. Waiting for some, guy to descend from the clouds. And even if he did that, you probably still wouldn't believe. You would still be scared as shit, a lot of you. Hell no. It's the same. You have to switch from waiting for something out there to prove to you, right? This is the spell of religion. This is the veil that is placed over your eyes. If we are constantly waiting for something out there to save you when ain't shit coming. But that's fine. Because the Savior never left you. Because heaven never left you. Because God's never been separate from you. You can receive everything that you desire. The only thing that you have to do is have it. Blessed is he who believes before he sees it. Right? I mean, that's clear and to the point. Blessed is he who believes before he sees it. So if you're constantly waiting for proof out there, you don't believe it before you see it. You don't believe it before you see it. Okay? Cool. And then number 4. How can I make my daily life a visible proof of the invisible? Asking is fine. Dora, asking is fine. But after you ask, what are you doing? Are you knowing that your prayer is answered? Or are you waiting for something out there to prove it to you? Right? And then, of course, the mustard seed. Right? The mustard seed, when you plant it, it knows it's going to be a tree. It doesn't try to be a mustard tree. It just knows it's going to be a tree. When you plant that maple tree, it doesn't try to be a tree. It just knows that it is a tree. It knows it will grow to be a maple tree. And so it sprouts to the heavens because it knows. It just knows. This is what mustard seed faith means. You know what you are already. You're a seed. You know what you're going to be. Therefore, You are already it. Okay? What to do, Leslie? All right. So, got a letter for y'all and then an adoration for y'all. Okay? Letter for y'all, then an adoration for y'all. Here's the letter. Here's the love letter. All right? Beloved. Beloved. Thank you for having the courage to leave the pew. Thank you for walking away from the fear that told you heaven was a reward and hell was your shadow. You didn't abandon God. You abandoned the noise that tried to speak for him. You chose to walk into the silence, and in that silence, you found what religion could never give you: presence. You discovered the living God not as an idea, but as breath, heartbeat, and consciousness itself. I want to thank you for unlearning the fear of being human. The church taught you how to bow your head in shame, but awakening taught you to lift it in remembrance. The day you stopped begging for forgiveness was the day you finally felt loved. You stopped trying to become worthy and realized worth was your natural state. You stopped chasing miracles and became one. You stopped calling yourself broken, a sinner, and finally understood that every crack was a doorway for the light to enter. You saved our life, not by saving our soul from flames, but by rescuing our mind from illusion. You stopped worshiping distance and started embodying union. You let God out of the sky and welcomed him into your bones. The words that once felt like commands became communion. The fear that once controlled you became reverence. You now know what the mystics meant when they said, "Be still and know that I am God." You are no longer waiting for heaven. You are walking in it. And so I thank you deeply for choosing truth over tradition, intimacy over imitation, and love over fear. You turned belief into knowing, sermon into silence, and ritual into revelation. You didn't simply find God. You remembered you were never separate. And because of that, we are finally alive. Right? I am that I am. Right? No matter what. And then the adoration. Right? The adoration. I've been doing these adorations instead of the affirmations, but I'll switch back and forth. Okay, number one, I adore. Well, it's not number one, it's just one. I adore the presence that proves itself through my every breath. Right? Think of this as an affirmation. Okay? I adore the presence that proves itself through my every breath. I adore the word made flesh in every fulfilled desire. I adore the invisible one who takes form as my life, my love, my very being. For outside of manifestation, there is no evidence of God. And within me, God is eternally manifesting. I am that I am, right? No matter what. So it's a different pace, right? We didn't feel like talking about y'all specific people today. Didn't feel like it, right? So we went a little different direction. Manifestation is the proof of God. It is the proof of God. God is manifestation. And when we start to see life clearly with that, we take the glasses of separation off, we see it's all manifestation. The grass, the trees, my life, my very being, existence itself is the manifestation and the proof of God. I walk as the proof of God. Okay? I walk as the proof of God. Cool. Yep. And within me, God is eternally manifesting. Eternally. Okay? Cool. All right, y'all. We'll do questions for a second. I'm always a little nervous when I start asking that. We'll do questions. All right, go. How do I get my SP? Be straightforward. Give me a technique. How long did it take me to become proper in trading? Like 5-6 months. About 5-6 months, once I put my ego to the side, just decided I was profitable. When I decided I was profitable, I became profitable. Until then, I was just trying. And becoming profitable simply meant following my rules. Following my rules and stop going into the market gambling, thinking that my prosperity was in the next trade. That was what made me profitable. Other than that, I was just in that bitch making donations to the market. Here you go. Here you go. Take all my money, right? I started looking at following a plan as a win instead of making money as a win. Because making money is not a win. It's for sure not a win. It's not at all, right? You doing what you're supposed to do is the win. And prosperity follows you when you simply stay in that knowing. How do I feel godly when I don't act as smoothly as I want to? Well, God is not a feeling. Being godly is not a feeling. It's simply it's a remembrance. It's a fact, really, right? Just the knowing that you're God doesn't necessarily bring on this euphoric feeling. It's just a knowing. It's just a remembrance, right? And yeah, from that remembrance, now you simply hold yourself accordingly. Okay, but remember, God is unconditional. So it doesn't matter how you feel. How you feel is just how you feel. Feelings rise and fall within consciousness. Okay? It rises and falls within consciousness. You are source, whether you feel smooth, whether you feel shitty, whether you feel beautiful today, whether you wake up and you say, my beard don't look as full and luscious as it usually does. And I want these women to rub their hands through it, right? No matter what you're feeling, you still are God. The only thing that is keeping us from it is what? Is our belief in separation. Exactly, even if you got 8 toenails. Fix that shit, but yes, even if you got 8 toenails. So when I trip over my own feet and shit, yeah. I mean, if you're going to keep on saying, but what about this, but what about that, but what? Unconditional, right? Unconditional. Unconditional, okay? Cantaloupe. When you trip over your own feet and study, you're still godly. Yep. When you feel awkward, you're still magnetic. When you feel tired, you're still full of energy. It's all you. Any thoughts on African traditional religions? I support anything whose core is a relationship with God, knowing that God is within you. That from there, I can work with you, right? Because now it's just semantics and shit, right? From there, we can work. God is within you. All right. So if the belief is that God is within you, I'm with it. If the belief is God is out there, I ain't with it. I'm not with it. And then belief in separation with God or others or both, neither. No such thing as separation. You're not separate from anyone. You're not separate from anything, right? You're not above God, below God. You just are God. There's no rank. There's no separation. It's all you. Then what techniques could I use to detach from spiritual warfare? I'm tired of war. Just decide you're not in spiritual warfare anymore. What is spiritual warfare except for a decision or a choice you made in your mind? It's no different than me saying I have to work through karma from the last 18 lifetimes. I just make the decision in my mind, right? Now, some people might say, no, Alex, you don't know. Spiritual war, it is real. For you, I'm sure it is. Right? If you cling to it that tightly to where you want to fight me on it, hey, I'm sure that is real for you, okay? But in my reality, I don't choose that, right? I don't choose to be held down by anything like that. Not spiritual warfare. I am God. Who am I warring with? I'm all that there is. What is there to war with? Right? We treat our mind like a Jedi battle, right? God on one side, the Sith on the other side, right? I don't pay bills or work. Of course. God does war with who? Who does God war with? Who have you seen God go to war with? Please enlighten me. Who have you seen God go to war with? You ain't never seen it. You probably read it in a book somewhere. But even that is a metaphor. God is all that there is. How can all that there is be warring with itself? Of course I pay bills. Of course I pay bills. He does war, but he automatically wins. It doesn't sound like much of a war to me then. I don't understand that metaphor. I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand how that makes sense. He does war, he just always wins. It sounds like it's not a war then. It sounds more like a surrendering to truth. Right? It just sounds like nature, right? I guess. Do I have children? Nope. I don't. I used to have a couple goldfish though. You know what I'm saying? Used to have a couple goldfish. And I've dated women with children. I've played the stepdad role in my life a couple of times. Yeah, that's my belief. I didn't say God wasn't a winner. Like we're just talking past each other at this point, right? My point is that there's nothing to war with if God always wins, right? Like, what is God warring with? God, everything is God, so nothing is apart from God. So there's no battle between God and anything else because there's nothing outside of God. That's my point. Is there's nothing outside of God. But you're saying, yeah, God battles, but He always wins. Maybe we're just saying the same thing in different ways, right? What about Satan? If God is all that there is, then what is Satan? Remember, metaphorically, okay? I want you guys, remember, when we talk about scripture, and you're open to have your own beliefs, and I'm open to have mine, right? So when we talk about scripture, I'm not talking about it from this historical perspective of God, or Satan showing up to tempt Jesus. I'm not talking about it in a literal sense, right? When we talk about Satan, what does it represent metaphysically? Okay? All right. So when we talk about God, what are we talking about? We're talking about all that there is, the fabric of reality, spirit, all of it, everything. Okay? And now Satan, what is Satan? Satan represents adverse thoughts, right? Thoughts of limitation, thoughts of lack, the thoughts that come to steal, kill, and destroy. Even when you think of kind of the battle, right? Casting Satan out of heaven, right? Satan took a quote unquote third of the angels and turned away from God and were cast out, right? So even if we take that perspective, what does that mean metaphysically? Well, metaphysically, this represents those thoughts, those pieces of you that you try to cast out. You say, oh, I'm not like God if I'm jealous, or if I feel bad, or if this or that, right? So we're constantly taking pieces of us and casting it out. And saying, I don't even want to look at that. That's not me. I scorn that. I condemn that piece of me. When really, even if we break down the term, right? This is what I mean when I say, when you believe that there's something out there, right? There's demons and angels, there's good, there's bad, there's right. When you believe that outside of you, there's multiple forces. There's the force of God, and then there's the opposite force, and they're warring. Whether you believe God always wins or not, right? When you have these quote unquote positive and negative things, you're going to start looking at life through the lens of duality. And if y'all know me, I'm all about unity consciousness, right? So when I'm looking at it and I'm saying, oh, this is right, this is wrong, this is good. No, it's all God. Even when we break down the word, all right, daemon, right? These demons were cast out of heaven, right? These angels became demons, right? So even when we break down that word, daemon, right? It actually translates to spirit guides, which is simply supposed to give you a better understanding of yourself. So even the jealousy, if I simply ask, okay, what do I have to believe to be true to feel this? To believe this right now? Well, the jealousy will typically stem from something like what? Oh, I don't think I can have this. I don't think this is for me. I don't think I'm good enough. I don't think there's enough abundance. I don't think I'm God. Okay, so now once I'm aware of that, I can tell myself the truth. No, it's all for me. It's all God. This is anything that is in consciousness is within God. Therefore, everything that I see or perceive, I can have. It's all me. Well, so that's the illusion. That is the illusion, thinking that there's anything outside. There's nothing outside of God. There can be nothing against God because there's nothing outside of God. There is just you sitting as God in the center of reality, judging things as for God, against God. And so now how could you look at life and say it's all a miracle, it's all perfect? You can't. Because you think that heaven is some Star Wars battle. Right? The good side and the bad side, and they're warring, and you're just down here. Right? And if you do good, one day you'll be with heaven. Right? There's nothing outside of God. Do you believe in synchronicity? Do you think they're a part of your remember? Like, God is all that there is. God is omnipresent. Oh, okay, so if God is all that there is and omnipresent, what is outside of that? That would mean God is not all that there is and is not omnipresent. It goes against the nature of spirit. Spirit is the substance of reality itself. It's all that there is. Do I believe in synchronicities? The synchronicities are what you make them, right? So even if you see numbers or you see a certain word, you're like, oh, this is a synchronicity, and you look it up, right? Perfect, beautiful. You look it up. Let's say the first two definitions don't make sense and the third one does. You're still making a choice of what it means, okay? If you didn't know about certain numbers, it wouldn't mean anything. But now that you're open to that, certain things show up. Whether it's a color, whether it's a certain animal that shows up as a sign, a dove, whatever the case may be. Right? I'm not saying these things, quote unquote, aren't real. But what I'm saying is you still have the final say so. Whether you believe they're real or not, you're still larger than them. So you get to decide what the final meaning is. Oh, this is a good sign, this is a bad sign. The only place that you're experiencing these things is where? Within you, in your consciousness. This is the only place that you experience life. You walk through reality and you experience life in your consciousness. So the belief that something outside of me can show me something is still the belief in separation. Because it's all me. It's all a sign. It's all a miracle. It's all unfolding from within me. Yeah? It's all you. No, you don't have to write anything. Right? There's no mistakes. Your belief that you have to write something, your belief that there are mistakes, simply creates a reality where more and more of yourself is unfolding as mistakes that you have to correct. It's all you. It's all perfect. You're always on the perfect path. The only thing, like when you say, oh, it's a detour, well, I'm not on the right path, right? Well, I've made a mistake and I'm here. You are the one affirming and creating that reality right here. You have decided, because nobody told you that. You don't know that. You can't see the future. You can't see the past. You only know what you are experiencing right now. So you're sitting there, you're judging reality and saying, oh, I must have done something wrong. I'm judging myself. Oh, I've done something wrong. All right. So now God has to push me down this path and punish me and send me down this, and I have to right these wrong. You're the only one narrating your life. So you're narrating reality to be a certain thing, and now you're experiencing yourself. It's all you. It's just like people are like, oh, I'm just in this season of isolation. They've been in that season for 13 years. Till they decide that they are loved now. Oh, I am healed. I am loved. And now all of a sudden things show up, right? It's like the subconscious reprogramming. When is the subconscious reprogram? You're just constantly looking for things outside of you to prove to you that it's not reprogrammed yet. You're just looking for God out there, constantly seeking something to prove to you who you are. When the truth is that you're already it. You're just taking on the personality of someone who has to reprogram something and can't get what they want. It always comes back to you. It always comes back to you. Who do you want to be? Do you want to be someone who doesn't get what they want and is just sitting around reprogramming some subconscious mind that you don't even know is real? You don't know it's real. What about the frequencies? I can't tell you trolling me, Dora. Can't tell you trolling me, girl. Because you know I'm about to go down a rabbit hole. You start talking about frequencies here. But no, frequency, what is that? Measure it. Measure it for me right now, please. People talk about frequencies and shit. Measure it in your day-to-day life and you tell me how important it is. Or when's the last time you measured your frequency? You don't know what it is. Okay? You just, in your mind, you'll walk through life and you'll feel a certain way. Oh, I must not be in vibration. I must be out of alignment. Who's saying that? It's just you, right? It's just us sitting in our minds by ourselves. Nobody's telling us these things. Nobody's whispering in your ear, right? Oh, you're out of alignment. Right? You don't have the vibration thermometer just shoved up your ass, right? Ready to vibrate when you're in alignment and shut down, give you a warning sign. Boop, 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 boop. Your vibration's getting too low. You're not wealth. Raise it. You don't have that. You just walk around because you have a feeling. You all of a sudden take on an identity and say, I'm not in alignment. I have to work hard. I have to do more. And because you are God, because you are so powerful, reality says, yes, you're right. Because you're always supported unconditionally in whatever you desire to be. So it makes no sense for me to walk around and act like, oh, I'm just not in alignment. Let me just tell, this is called delusion. Walking around and trying to measure some invisible vibration, it's delusion. I will bring the straitjacket to you right now. Send your address. I'll bring the straitjacket to you. I told you to stop doing that shit. Sitting around trying to, but Alex, it's real. Okay, cool. What is yours right now? What is your vibration right now? It's 1202.3. It's a ridiculous concept. You are already the identity of God. What other vibration, alignment do you need? If anything, you are in perfect alignment with God because you are God. Because you just are God. You just are God. You are the identity of the Spirit of God. So you're already all that there is. This is what was getting pointed to. It said the kingdom is within you. Kingdom is within you. As within, so without. As above, so below. Everybody's pointing to this. You're not a drop in the ocean. You're the entire ocean in a drop. What you seek is seeking you. The eye with which I see is the same eye with which God sees. Right? It's all just pointing to the, okay, you're connected with everything. You are source. You are all that there is. It's all constantly pointing to the, you're already it. You're already it. And if you're all that there is, what is there to become? What vibration are you raising up? Okay. All of the things that we want to do them. But don't do them from a distant power position. Meaning, if you want to affirm, cool, do it. But don't sit around affirm trying to raise your vibration. Please don't do that shit. You don't even know it. You don't even know what you're doing. I'm just trying to raise my vibration. How? How are you doing that? What was your baseline? Where did it start? And where are you now? How far are you? How far along the path of raising your vibration are you? Please. Like, get up here and tell everybody how that's been going. I want details. I don't want some imaginary delusional story you have made up in your mind. Because some old dude showed up on the TV. One night you fell asleep with the TV on and Bob Proctor was on that motherfucker telling your ass, the vibration of wealth needs to be hit. And you say, oh my God, he's right. The vibration of wealth. And they put up a big ass chart behind you. Had all these pretty colors. Oh my God, you don't even remember what the numbers are. You just remember there was a bunch of colors and the top one was, oh my God, authenticity is the top. So instead of you simply deciding to accept who you are, that's authentic, you say, how can I be more of me? Once again, another delusional thought. How can I be more like me? Let me try to just be more authentic. You're insane. Once again, I'll bring the straitjacket right to you. Right to you, I'll bring it. Special delivery, right? Next day shipping. Matter of fact, same day shipping for some of y'all. Same day shipping for some of y'all, right? They're just buzzwords. Vibration, frequency, alignment. You are all that there is. What is there to be in alignment with? I simply choose from the knowing that I'm already all that there is. Magic trick. Alex, when you got the rent paid, when you're going to get evicted, how did you raise your vibration? Shit, I don't fucking know. You might have to bring a thermometer over and measure I don't know what the fuck my vibration was. I simply know that I was God and I decided it was done. That was it. Did you fast? What did you eat? Did you eat fruits? Did you retain your semen to raise your kundalini? No. And do none of that shit. Well, I do retain. But I'm saying none of that has any indicator. None of that has any correlation with you getting the life of your dreams. No affirmations, no sleep tapes, no kundalini, no third eye opening, no fast, no prayer, none of that shit. No abstinence, none of that. There's no thought. There is no thing that you can do. There is no thing that you can eat. There is no emotion you could feel that could get you closer or further from all that there is. There is only your belief that there was any separation in the first part. That's it. It's all you. It's all you, my love. It's all you. It's been you the whole time. Doesn't matter. It does not matter. Just, you are the gift of, you are the manifestation of God. You are the word made flesh. God already looked at you and said, it's very good. There's nothing to do. There is nothing to do. You can do whatever. There's always going to be something you can do, but there's nothing to do to get closer to God except releasing these thoughts and beliefs that there was anywhere that you could go. There is nothing outside of God. There's no God, and there's a couple things that are out here outside of God. Nope. There is not. There's nothing outside of God. No thing, no person, there's nothing but to God. There's not even a you. There's just God experiencing life, taking the perspective of you. There's no you. Even to say I am God is a concession because there is no I that is God. There is just God. There is just God. Right? And we'll see this, right? Because they'll constantly say this, right? Even the mystics, right? Even these spiritual teachers, they have to talk about oneness from the illusion of separation. Right? Even Jesus, right? Whether you believe it's historically true or not, said, I and the Father are one, but the Father is greater than I, using the illusion of separation to speak about oneness and unity. What he's just saying is there's only God. I and the Father are one, right? I have this small self I'm perceiving life through, but the Father is greater than me. It's all God, right? There's this individual perspective that I'm having of life. But we're one and it's greater than I. It's all God and it's one with me and it's greater than I am perceiving. It's simply speaking through the illusion of separation to get to the truth that there is only one, there is only God. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. How do I trust this when I get intrusive thoughts or see unfavored situations? Or circumstances? How do you trust this? All right. How do you trust this when you have intrusive thoughts or unfavorable circumstances? Okay, let's start with the intrusive thoughts. Okay. Now let me put this in a practical way. Let's say that right now you have. I don't want to use anything that's like off-putting, because I was going to reference like an addiction. Okay, let's say that you're addicted to anything. F it, fuck it. All right, let's say that you have an addiction to anything, right? And today you decide to stop. All right. Right now you have taken on the personality of someone who no longer does certain things, right? No longer does this or does that. Okay, so you've taken on that personality. However, the body still has cravings. The mind still has cravings. Okay? This is the same way that you have to give grace to your body and your mind as you're going through this situation, okay? So you have came into the realization that you are source, you are God, you are all that there is. And you have decided, okay, I am prosperity now. Boom. The moment you decided that you are it. There's no separation. You just are it. The mind, the body, right, has been caught up in the illusion for how many years? 15, 20, 30, 40, 50. However many years the body, the mind has been out there. So you have made the decision. The transformation is done. Manifestation is instant. The thoughts, the body, right? The emotions are still used to seeing the camera, seeing the picture, seeing the old image. Give yourself grace, right? The body and the mind is still catching up to the eternal truth. So I simply, what do I do in those situations? I just continue to remember. Okay, yeah, I feel this way, but I'm still perfect even in these emotions. Yeah, this intrusive thought comes, but I'm not the thoughts. The thoughts rise and fall within consciousness, but I am the presence behind the thoughts. I'm not the thoughts. I'm the awareness that accepts or rejects them, that clings to them or simply lets them float by. Okay? So it's grace. Right? We'll often act as if our thoughts and feelings are some magical demon beast within us that is keeping us from our desires, keeping us from God, right? We treat our emotions and thoughts like a gatekeeper from God when they're a gift from God. That was a bar. Let me say that one more time. We treat our emotions, we treat our running thoughts like they are boundaries, monsters that keep us from God, but they are gifts from God. Your emotions are how you experience love, how you experience learning. All right? These intrusive thoughts, the quote-unquote intrusive thoughts generated by this ego that was given to you, gifted to you so you can perceive yourself through the eyes of separation. Why is that a good thing, Alex? Because if there's a woman in your life that you absolutely love, you can only experience the love that you are through her, through the illusion of separation. Right? You can hold her and kiss her and feel the love that she is, the love that she has radiating back to you through the illusion of separation. Without that illusion, you're loved, but how do you experience and taste it? It's a gift. Now, another aspect of the ego is the ego perceives separation, right? I am here and you are there. Me and them. Us and them. We and her or him. Okay? So the ego now, right? And I don't want to give it too much power, right? Because this is just a collection of thoughts that have kept you safe in a beautiful way throughout your life. Right? You have considered yourself an overthinker. Some of you might say, damn, I have these intrusive thoughts. I'm just overthinking it. And I would say, that's beautiful. I want you to think about somebody that you love. I want you to think about what your quote-unquote overthinking does when you're around them. Right? When you're around them, now you start studying them. Say, oh my God, right? They like this, they like that. I'm going to do more of that for them. You begin to show up for them in different ways. You begin to express your love in these beautiful ways because of your quote-unquote overthinking. In that case, it's perfect, right? But now in this situation, all of a sudden you cast it out, right? Like Satan being cast out of heaven, the metaphor of that, right? You cast out these emotions from the heaven, from the kingdom that is you, saying, no, I cannot do that because that is not perfect. But it actually is. You're just looking at it from the wrong perspective. You're judging that this part of the only reason that you think that it's imperfect is because you think that it's keeping you from this desire. But it's not. It's only your belief that it's keeping you from this desire, that is keeping you in this place. That's it. And it's just nothing stopping you from getting what you want. You already have what you want. unconditionally. Where do you think the desire came from? You didn't even think of the desire. Some of y'all have specific people, you just can't get enough of them. You didn't choose them. The day that you met them, you weren't like, oh, I'm going to be manifesting them soon. You just naturally had the desire to want them more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And look at you here. Now you're here in front of me. Right? You didn't even choose most of your desires. They just rose up. Where do you think the desire came from? Because you're God. Where do you think the desire came from? Now, when I say that, I'm not saying that God is within you wanting a car. Right? God has no use for a car. I'm not saying that the Spirit of God wants money. What I'm saying is that the desire itself is simply God wanting to experience Himself through you. This is simply proof of your existence, proof of your worthiness that you can desire. Right? God moves across all that it is and has a desire, which is simply a reminder that you're already it. You just feel it as a desire. But when you know that you're in oneness, when you know that you are God, now the desire becomes more holy because you can simply accept it. Okay, I have the desire because God is remembering itself through me. And now I simply accept that as the truth and I walk through life. There's no separation. Except for when I start to perceive separation. Okay? Cool. Guys, there's no separation. There's nothing keeping you from what you desire. Nothing. There's no other force keeping you from what you desire. There's no war. Right? I don't care if you want to say, well, God always wins. And there's no war. It doesn't do no good, no benefit to think like that. There just is you. There just is God. That's it. There's just God. There is just God. There is nothing outside of it. There's just you walking through life unconditionally as God, making the rules, narrating. There is nothing to do but to chill out, right? Psalm 46:10. I think it says, chill the fuck out and know that you are God, or something like that. Sit your ass down and know that you are God and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Cease striving. Relax. It's done. Know that God's got this. That's what it means. Huh? Cool. What other questions y'all got? There's nothing to do. There is only being. There's nothing to do. There is only being. What is there to do in the mind of God? You stand in the mind of God where all things already exist, where all things are already yours. Already. Right now. If that's not comforting, I don't know what is. If that ain't comforting, I really, truly do not know what is. Hoo-wee. Exactly. Just being. I'm cool with wanting someone else, but I desired him for a reason. No. You desire, no, you desire him because you chose to desire him. You choose, you are love. You can experience that love through whoever, right? When we try to justify our suffering with, I must have chosen this person for a reason. Okay. If you say so, right? If that helps to liberate you and seal in the knowing that you're it and that they're yours, cool. But if it doesn't and it just makes things difficult, it's just a belief. It's just a limitation to drop, right? There are certain beliefs that make no sense, right? Don't think of reality as this. All right. I'm about to go from a beautiful sermon to a not so beautiful sermon, okay? Don't treat reality, okay? All right, here we go. Everything is neutral until you give it meaning. The only person saying that maybe I chose this person, maybe it's for some greater reason, the only person saying that is you. Nobody else. Nobody's whispering in your ear and saying that. You're simply making up stories to try to cope. Doubt, okay? Doubt disguised as discernment is still just doubt. Let me say that one more time. Doubt dressed up in a dress, with a bow tie on maybe, put some makeup on it. You say, it's just my discernment. Maybe God's keeping this for me. It's just doubt. It's just doubt. It's just doubt. It's your inability to choose what you want. Belief is for children. Okay, we know over here. We make a decision and know that we are source. I don't care how. If you bring a pig in front of you, you put lipstick on it, you put a wig on it, a dress, nice makeup, right? Put a little bit of blush on it, whatever y'all be doing, the eyes stuff and all that, right? Okay. It's still a pig. You're still ugly than a motherfucker. I don't care how you dress it up. Okay? The doubt is still doubt. Don't care how you dress it up. But you get to cut through that doubt with the knowing, okay, I am source. You get to remember, no, I am source. It's already done. I've already chosen this. If the story that you want to tell on top of that is empowering, cool, keep it. If it's not, it's a limitation. Anything that implies you don't have it for some divine reason is a limitation. I don't care how divine you believe that reason is. But no, Alex, you just don't understand. I had a dream and, you know what I'm saying? Really? You did, huh? Congrats. Still doubt. It's still doubt. Because if you knew it and you had it, it wouldn't matter what the hell dream you had. It would just be yours. If I have $1 million and I dream that I'm broke, I'm not going to wake up and say, it's a sign. I must not have $1 million. I'm going to say it was just a dream. It was just a dream. That shit ain't finna happen. I am wealth. I am prosperity. You have plenty dreams that you just disregard. But all of a sudden, when it's your specific person, you dream about them and they're, in a cornfield playing with somebody else. They're both running through the fields together, laughing and giggling, and somehow you're just peeking down on them, floating. Now all of a sudden it's a sign. It's not a sign, it's a dream. Okay? You are the sign. You are the sign. You are the one that breathes meaning into everything. You are the one that breathes meaning into everything. Right? You have a dream and you see your SP and somebody else at some basketball game, courtside seats. You're like, oh my God. What is she doing here? And the dude that she's with is like 6'9", muscles. Never mind. Let me not trigger y'all because I was about to go off on a whole thing, but I'm not going to trigger y'all today. Right? The bottom line is that you give shit meaning. You give shit meaning. Okay? I know some of y'all be dreaming about your SP, thinking that it's signs. What does it mean, Alex, if I keep dreaming that my SP calls me and I wake up and there's no call? I just feel like what? Enlighten me. Your parents are neutrals. It's all neutral. Your decision, your desire is the proof that it's already yours. Do you want it? That's the proof that it's already yours. That's the fulfillment. The desire is proof that it's already within you, or else you couldn't desire it. When we know we are source, what belief can stop us? You tell me. You tell me what can stop God. God can stop God, right? All right. So if I believe that I am source and everything is flowing to me and I already have it, all right? And I already have it. Then what can stop me? The only thing that can get in my way is me deciding I don't have it now. That's it. That's why it makes no sense when some of y'all are like, well, I've been manifesting for 6 months and it just didn't work out and I didn't get it. What are you talking about? So what you mean is that you were trying to get something and then you decided that you didn't have it. That's it. Okay, what more should we talk about? You decided that you don't have it. Right? It's all you. It's all you. Manifest the bathroom. Source over there got a number 2. Don't take the damn phone to the bathroom with you either, Source. Daisy. Don't take the phone with you to the bathroom. Leave that shit on the side. You over there trying to wipe your ass and hold the phone at the same time. Oh, no, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Nope, not true, Glow. Not true. The only thing that is true is your decision to create things that you don't want. How do you decide that you have it when you don't? I have it. It's mine because I'm God. Boom. I'm already the identity that has it. Done. Donezo. Collective consciousness, especially on things that are deemed bad like wars. Absolutely. All right, we're going to talk about collective consciousness. Let's see, I got 8 minutes left. Actually, I'm not going to cut y'all short. But I will go to the bathroom in 8 minutes. So we're going to do collective consciousness. Parents don't exist. We can do that one. And then take the phone with me. Hell no. Hell no, I'm not trying to scare y'all. Oh my God, is that a serpent? No, it's just is manifestation cap. I'm starting to think it's fake news. Let's talk about that one too. Is manifestation cap and gown or fake news? Okay, I saw that stuff. I saw that stuff. I'm gonna give you about. I'll give you about 3 minutes of tears, and then we gonna get you right back. I was surprised when I saw you. I said, "Damn, haven't we talked enough?" I said, "God damn, Steph, what more do you need?" At this point, damn. The second call with me is always a little bit more rough than the first, cause I feel like y'all should get it by now. I ain't gonna lie, I am like I even stopped doing certain packages because it's like, never mind. I'm not gonna talk shit about some of y'all that's on the call or on this phone right now looking at me. Some of y'all like, damn. You'll pay me $10,000 to manifest that for me for real? Okay, cool. Give me the $10,000. Wire it to me. Girl, can't nobody manifest that man for you. Nah, no thanks, Jesse. So real love is effortless attention. There is a unity with what you love. Ooh, beautiful. Let's talk about that. Real love is effortless. Honestly, y'all, I'm about to give y'all like a 5-minute break. Cause I'm about to eat this cantaloupe. I'm about to go use the restroom. And I'll probably be back. But I'm finna write down a couple of these questions. No, we ain't gonna do no SP. I'm not. I shouldn't have said 5 minutes and say bathroom. That's not what I'm finna do in the bathroom, bro. Does being mean we should not want to live our desires in the 3D? That's a beautiful question. No, it doesn't. And let's talk about that. Does being mean we should not want to live our desires in 3D? Cool. All right, y'all. Be right back. told y'all. The Dark Night of the Soul. What is the view on the Dark Night of the Soul? That's another good question. My bad, Instagram. I know I ignore y'all sometimes. All right. Yeah. Come on over to TikTok. Come on over to the dark side, man. I think most of the people that follow me on Instagram got me blocked or muted or something. Bad? No, not bad. Dark chocolate. Source, what kind of freaky shit you talking about? No, I ain't gonna forget the cantaloupe. You know I ain't gonna forget that. Give you like 2 minutes and then I'm gonna start. Yeah, it is why my digestion is so regulated. Cause y'all wake up and eat Pop-Tarts and shit. Y'all wake up eating Pop-Tarts. You wonder why your mood is always bad. And then you complain to me about intrusive thoughts. And then your shits take 18 minutes, minimum. A whole roll of toilet paper. And you still don't do justice. Oh, you know, a little cantaloupe. Be eating fruit like prunes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oops. Told them what is. Snitch on everybody to me, yes. And I might give you another free session. I'm just playing. Oh. No, it wasn't. It wasn't like that. It was
crazy angle. But as a fitness content creator, you gotta be doing that.
Alright, so don't start trying to play me. All right, let's get into it. Wait for the shoulders to go back and forth. I'm not giving y'all free sessions. None of y'all trauma dump on me for free. The way y'all come in those sessions, treating me like some kind of therapist. Oh, hey, yo, slow down. Yeah, you can get that advice. And don't worry, because I see some of y'all's DMs too. Y'all be sending me them fucking 5-paragraph long DMs about everything that's happening to you while I'm at dinner with my family. You know what? I could pay attention to you, or I could just stay in the love of my parents. What am I gonna do? All right, let's get back. I'll talk to them later. Some of y'all know it too. Leaving me Telegram messages at 2 a.m. Alex, I just don't know. I'm just, I just need somebody to talk to. I don't. No, I'm just playing with y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. All right, let's go through these questions. So the first one was about collective consciousness, right? How do I differentiate from a therapist? Because I'm not interested in fixing you. Just pointing you towards remembrance. I'm just pointing you back to your power over and over and over again in different ways. That's it. You really don't need me at all. You don't need a therapist either, but you really don't need me, per se. Nothing that I'll tell y'all individually is things that I don't talk about in these streams anyway. And y'all know that. Alright? Sometimes y'all just want to hear it a different way, or maybe something doesn't click, per se. But there's nothing that you'll receive, like, one-on-one wise. Y'all ask me sometimes, you'll be like, hey, what do you benefit from this? You come in my DMs like, hey, how would I benefit from coaching with you? I don't know. I don't know. You tell me. I'm just going to sit here and point you back to your power. The same way that when I bring 20 of y'all up here and we're having a discussion and you're telling me what's going on, I'm doing the same thing. I'm just reminding you of who you are. You're God. You don't have to think like that. You can believe this. You can know this. I'm just pushing you back to your power over and over again. So if you sit here and you are kind of listening to the one-on-one discussions that I have with people at the end of the lives, that's the same thing I'm going to do with you one-on-one. I might be a little tougher. If you act hard-headed, I might be tougher. But we doing the same shit. Yep, tougher. Because I don't have to worry about being demonetized when I talk to you to your face. All right, here we go. So collective consciousness. Let's talk about collective consciousness. And by the way, when I say that demonetization, I'm joking with y'all, right? The demonetization it's not a big deal to me. Okay, I should have been. I get a strike on here, damn near every 3 days. Shit, it seems like I was gonna say 13 hours, but every time I do a live, I come back with a fucking strike. So collective consciousness, number one. All right, what is the difference between the collective consciousness and your individual consciousness, right? Because you create reality, right? There's nothing outside of you per se, right? Per se. The difference between your individual reality and collective consciousness is this, okay? You sit within the mind of God, right? So right now you are within the mind of God, where all things exist. Everything exists within the mind of God, right? Yes, Alex. All right, everything exists. So what do you expect not to see? Will be the first question. If all things exist, what do you expect to not see? That's not a rhetorical question. What do y'all expect to not see within all that there is, within the mind of God? Yep. Exactly. Nothing. 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 There's nothing that you cannot see within all that there is. It's all that there is. All right? Now, if you create reality, right? If you create reality, do you believe on an individual level that me personally, I could sit here and I can change the entire world structures, right? Right now I can sit here and I can manifest a new president. I can manifest a different, overall religion for the world. Can I do that? Exactly. I can't, because there's a collective. But in my experience, I can create absolute love and absolute peace. In my experience. In my personal experience. Meaning, it doesn't matter what's going on out there. It's about who I am. It's about what I choose to experience in my life. Okay? So, reality is what it is, but my experience is my experience. Okay? Because I want you to think about this. God is on a macro and a micro level. God can't be divided. God is all that there is. So I want you to think about it like this, right? If right now I look at your body, all right? You are the fullness of God. God is you 100%. But God's just not you 100% in your full body, because if you split yourself in half, would God be divided in half? No. Okay? So in each eyeball is the fullness of God. In every tooth is the fullness of God. Down to every cell is the fullness of God. So God is fractal, right? All that there is fractal, all right? There's a universe within you. All that is within you is within you, okay? The fullness of God is in every timeline. The fullness of God is within every other being, okay? And then the fullness of God, of course, is this universe that you're walking in, okay? Where a piece of God is, all of God is there. Now, how are you kept in certain illusions? You're kept in certain illusions with TV, with programming. You're kept in certain illusions with food, kind of dull your senses, right? I'm not saying that these things impact your ability to create the reality that you want for you. But what I'm saying is that humanity as a whole, all right, we're not moving to the future through hard work. Hear me out. We're not moving to the future through hard work. We're being pulled into the future by our collective consciousness, by our collective belief, right? Because there's one mind. And each of us are simply taking this one perspective of the all. All right? This is the illusion of separation. However, we are all. So, okay? So with that, if the majority of quote unquote humans, which are just different perspectives of all, if quote unquote these individual humans, right, it's a concession to explain the whole all. If a majority of people believe that this is the certain system that we should abide in, guess what happens? Well, that is projected out from within us. I want you to think of the nature of vision. Okay, so we have a sun out there, right? You have a sun out in the sky, whether you believe it's in a firmament, whether you believe it's a projection, whether you believe it's out there, right? Don't care. There's a sun. So the sun projects light down to the earth. Right? The sun projects light down to the earth. Now, that light enters your eyes. And now that light goes within your brain, okay? And as a collective, there's only one mind. So we're all taking these different perspectives of all that there is. So that thought of all that there is, all of us, right? With our beliefs, right? Now that image is processed in our brain, and then there's an image that's projected out in front of us, and now we experience that in consciousness, okay? This is the nature of reality that you see. Right? Where does this come down to you? It doesn't matter what anybody says about the economy. You get to decide your direct experience with money. It doesn't matter what people tell you about this is how men are, this is how women are, right? All of that's their personal experience. And that can be a belief of the collective, right? A majority of men could think that women are a certain way. It does not matter to you as long as you have an assumption of how things interact with you, with me, with my universe. With my universe, okay? So we'll constantly be like, well, I'm saying if God is all good and all of this, and I create my reality, how come I can't manifest world peace? Well, because that's a collective thing, right? That's a collective belief. It's not you. Your reality is your reality. You get to choose your individual experience of your reality, okay? But you're not choosing the experience of everybody, because all that there is all that there is. Everything is within consciousness already. So you are looking out at all that there is, which is you, and you're seeing all these different individual perspectives of consciousness rise and fall within yourself. And all of these things act as a divine menu per se. You're walking through the illusion, and you see certain things you like and certain things you don't like. You're like, oh, I like this. Let me receive more of that. I don't like this. Let me choose different. But what the illusion also traps us to think like, right, if you're stuck in it, is, oh, I don't like it, but this is just the way the things are. Oh, I don't like that, but it just is what it is. It's just how women are. This is just how men are. This is just how money is. It's just how the economy is, just the job market right now. But it doesn't have to be your reality. It can be a collective belief, but it does not have to be your reality. All right? Interesting. Cool. Yes. So there can never, I wouldn't say never, right? I wouldn't say never at all. But it's a collective thing. You can experience world peace right now in your reality. I want you to even think about this. This might be a more challenging perspective. Why do you believe the world isn't peaceful? Do you believe the world is not peaceful because of your own personal experience? You've been walking through life and you've experienced all kinds of chaos and war around you? Or do you believe the world isn't peaceful because of what you've seen on TV in places that you've never been? I'm not saying that those places aren't real, but I'm saying where does your belief that world peace doesn't exist come from? Within your consciousness. Okay? When we really start to break it down, we'll see that for the most part, it's my beliefs. For the most, now not my beliefs. For the most part, it's my beliefs, but they stem from what? Things that I haven't truly experienced. Not saying that these things aren't real experiences. But what I will say is if a tree falls in the middle of nowhere, nobody's there to see it, does it make a sound? No, it doesn't even exist. All right. So at what point does even my focus on suffering just lead to more suffering? All right. Cool. All right, second part. Somebody asked if their parents exist. I don't remember the full question, but I just wrote parents don't exist. Okay? No, they don't. Now, let's also think about this a little bit more, right? Let's say, okay, I want you, for the most part, because I know it's going to be one smart ass. It's like, I remember when I was born. Most of you don't remember when you were born. Okay? Most of you's first memory was not your soul traveling down into the pineal gland of the fetus and animating this body. Most of you don't remember that, right? Most of you's first experiences, you were already within this realm. Okay? So, what's up, Azra? What's up, Goddess? So let me put it like this, all right? If you are not conscious to remember those times, all right, do you believe that you were conscious enough to create your own reality, your own experience of reality? Because that's always the pushback. It's like, well, how could a child choose this? How could I choose this as a child? Do you think that a child, right? You don't even remember your childhood. Do you believe that a child can consciously create its own reality? It's one yep. Anybody else want to answer? Or y'all just want to sit there? No, you're not in timeout anymore. Do you think that a child consciously creates their reality, right? So when the child experiences certain brutalities, right, in their life, a child, 2 years old, 4 years old, 7 years old, do you think that they're consciously focusing on things? All right, let me be a little bit more clear. Do you think children are consciously focused on the things that they want and don't want until those things harden into reality? Hell no, they don't, right? So when we say conscious, this is what I mean. Kids, if you study science, right? Kids are walking around and they're walking around in damn near theta brain waves all day. Okay, if you know anything about brain waves, the fastest is beta. The beta is like a conscious adult. With children, typically don't hit the beta brainwave where they're just walking around and reacting to a very late age, right? I want to say it's like, I don't know. We could look it up, but I don't feel like it. I'm sure somebody knows, or we'll look up and say, when do kids start getting into beta? But for the most part, kids are walking around in alpha or theta brainwaves. What these brainwaves are hypnotic states. That's why kids are like sponges. 7 years. Beautiful. So children are like sponges. Okay? Their beliefs aren't theirs, right? They're constantly just consuming things, right? Parents tell them this is right, this is wrong. Parents have fears and project it. Don't do this, don't do that, this is right. So this child just becomes a projection, not of their own beliefs. You had no beliefs when you showed up here. And you remember, you were just out here fumbling around. You were just out here learning how to cry when you want food and listening to everything, learning how to speak, learning how to communicate. Huh? You didn't know shit. You weren't consciously creating anything, right? However, you were a projector for everyone around you. The shows you watched, people around you. Now, one of the beautiful things that happens as kids grow up is, if you're a parent, you probably know this, right? Where the child just is all lovey-dovey about you, and then they hit an age, and then boom, all of a sudden they start to come into their own. They might not want to kiss you that much anymore. They might go through a little phase of self-discovery. Whoa, hold up, back up, man. I don't want your kisses all the time anymore. Right? I don't want to be all over you. I don't want you to be all over me anymore. All right? So they hit this stage. What is this? Well, finally, the mind is like, hey, look, we're awake now, right? Because this is a dense reality. It's going to take a little while for you to get acclimated to the density of this space, of this reality, right? So now all of a sudden you start to wake up, right? You start to try to figure it out. Okay, who am I? The question of consciousness. When you start trying to figure out who am I, this is the conscious question. This is consciousness trying to experience itself. Who am I? Outside of you. But you'll still go down the path of trying to find it in things external, right? Trying to find it in music and friends and substances and different experiences outside of just that family. Okay? This is the waking up of the soul. And even then, right, are we truly consciously? Yes, we begin to consciously create, but it's still heavily programmed. It's still heavily programmed. Until you start understanding that you are the creator, your source, and you start coming into the understanding of, okay, it's what I know myself as that begins to manifest. So we're always on this process of learning. It would be it would be extremely unfair for me to say that a child creates its own suffering. The child is just a sponge. It's a projector of all the beliefs around them. This is why parenting is such a sacred task. This is why even the ancients, even our ancestors said it takes a village. It takes a village, because that child is simply a projector. That's it. Pure potential, right? We all are pure potential, but that child is just fresh, right? Extremely fresh. So parents, right? Being a parent is such a sacred task, an absolute sacred task, because literally this avatar, right? This soul has just animated this avatar, and this avatar is just this brand new being. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, absolutely beautiful. So no, children aren't creating their own suffering, but they become projectors of the fears of the people around them, right? The fears, the limitations, all of that of the people around them. If you just say it's that's so fire. If you just say you're smart, then you're smart. You gave birth to the Buddha. You think that's your child, that's the Buddha. Market is Chop City right now. Practically, what's the best way? I mean, you tell me. You tell me, right? There's infinite ways that we all learn, right? What's the best mindset? Me personally, I would push one that promotes kind of freedom of choice, right? But you still all, I wish I was programmed. Yeah, I was programmed by the belt, by shoes, by all kinds of shit. But it would be, what is, okay, to say that you're just going to allow your kid to be 100% free, is that necessarily healthy? Well, I guess that's up for the parent, right? The thing that you can do, right? The best that you can do is going to always be perfect. Even if you look back and you think that you made mistakes, you still are doing absolutely perfect. There's no imperfection in spirit, right? But I would say it probably does require you to instill some boundaries with this child, right? So this child's just not going out there and doing things that are going to get it hurt, because it still has to navigate this reality, right? You still navigate this reality in a healthy way. So you just do your best. You do your best. You do your best. I can't tell you how to raise a kid. So don't nobody book and start trying to ask me that damn question in a session. Well, I heard you talk about raising kids. I got 3 and I just... I was a kid. I don't know why I wrote Steph's name down here. How would I raise me? The same way that I was raised. I used to look back and be like, I do things different, yada, yada, yada. But then am I guaranteed to be this version of me without all my experiences? Probably not. So like, however you do it is perfect, right? Those are just interesting things to be mindful of, is that we play a big role in the child's safety and their mental health and state of being, their consciousness, right? You're the molder of consciousness. You are the keeper of the soul. What a sacred duty. What a sacred duty. You are the keeper of a soul. Fire. Think you got stuck at childhood? I know some of y'all definitely got dropped in y'all's heads, for sure. I know that without a doubt. Probably could name a couple of y'all too, like right now. It's a couple of y'all right now, yes you, that was dropped on that goddamn head. Probably multiple times. All right, the next one was, is manifestation cap or is it real? I don't know if I want to. When I heard it, I was kind of in the more, in a different mood, in a different mindset. So how I would answer that now is, I can't prove shit to you. I can't prove manifestation is real to anybody. I can relay my experiences. I can tell you, right? I can open the door for you, but you have to walk through that shit yourself. There's no amount of stories, success stories that you're here. There's no amount of me sitting up here and saying these poetic words to you. There's no amount of that will make it click in your mind that this is the truth. It is you. It is you, right? Remembering who you are. That is going to be the proof. Okay, that's going to be the proof. So we're constantly seeking something outside of us to prove who we are, when the proof is already within our being, already within our existence. Okay. Ask because awareness is just a sense of being, not control. Oh shit! Hell yeah! Okay, that's what you meant. Let's talk about that. All right? Cause now we're getting. I've been meaning to lead the discussions down this path. So I'm glad you asked that, right? Now, this is kind of going to the illusion of choice. All right? Let's play a game. I'm going to take you down this journey. Just hear your boy out. Just hear your big brother out, all right? All of y'all. You are God, right? You are the manifestation of God. And within you, everything exists. Okay? So you're already the manifestation. Now, you have certain desires that just show up. You might see someone and all of a sudden you're drawn to them. You have this feeling of desiring them. Did you necessarily choose that desire? No, you didn't necessarily choose that desire. Okay? That desire showed up. You didn't necessarily choose it. And now we know that the highest form of prayer is simply presence. It's just being. It's being present with God, because if I'm sitting here in silence, I'm present with God. If I'm sitting here and drinking my water, I'm in communion with God. It's all God, right? So I might say that I have this desire and I choose that I am it and allow it to manifest, but I didn't choose it anyway. And even the choosing itself is simply me being. It's just me walking through life, experiencing life, being in the moment, knowing who I am, allowing things to unfold, judging it as all is perfect. So what am I truly doing? What am I actually manifesting? Is choice even real? The desires seemingly come out of nowhere. I decide that it's already mine. I simply just move through life and certain things show up and seemingly give me more clarity on what I want. Is there really anything to do? Am I actually manifesting anything? Or am I just being? This goes to that scripture that says the birds, look at the birds. They neither sow nor reap. They neither sow nor reap. They don't do shit, yet everything is provided for them. Right? Look at the flowers. They don't do shit, yet everything is provided for them. It just is pointing us, right? We're constantly being pointed to this greater and greater truth. Are you really even manifesting anything? No, you're remembering that you are the manifestation. Are you really choosing your desires? The desire is a feeling. Where does that feeling just come from? It pops up within your consciousness that you desire something. What is there even to do? Even choice, right? We talked about this the other day. We even have an illusion of choice. Who's to say, like, okay, well, dang, I want to move to this place. And I'm just going to take a risk and I'm going to sell all my stuff and I'm going to get on the plane. I'm going to go across the country. If you didn't even do that, would it have still happened simply by you having the desire? And where does the desire come from? We might sit here and say, oh, well, everything happened for a reason. But on the path, we were questioning shit and I don't know if this was right. But then we came back to the knowing that it's all working out perfectly and it just unfolded. It just unfolded. Was there anything that you could have done to ruin it? Was there anything that you could do to get in the way of God? If infinite paths exist, you make the desire, you make the choice, right? And all infinite paths show up. Is there really anything? Are you ever doing anything? Are you actually manifesting anything? Are you? God, go, my son, yet he is doing and thinking intuitive thoughts. We're not the doers at all. We're not the doers. I am the Father of one, and the Father is greater than I. The Father does the work. I can do nothing without the Father. Even my speaking, right? It's like I seemingly say things. But the more that you become aware of yourself, you'll realize that you're not planning ahead every sentence as you're speaking. You're simply awareness. And the words seemingly come out of nowhere. You go for a walk, you're not focusing on every muscle moving and contracting, and your awareness, yes, you've quote unquote decided to walk, but the body simply moves. You simply get lost in it. Are you ever truly quote unquote manifesting anything? Or is all of our attempt to manifest simply us getting in our own damn way? That's what it really comes down to, right? Does it, like, what matters? What matters on this path? One of the highest realizations, the realization that I do nothing and yet all is done, right? Where the voice of Source came up here and said it beautifully, right? He was quoting the Tao. The Tao does nothing, yet nothing is left undone. Does nothing, yet nothing is left undone, right? What is there? What are you really doing? So when we have this, the more and more conscious and aware we become of manifesting, right? We talk about it as if it's something, difficult. There's some kind of mind science behind it, but really it's just being, knowing it's done. Because none of it is me anyway. I don't come up with a desire, even the choice. I want to choose the desire because I have it, but where does the desire come from? It just seemingly sprouts up within my awareness, within my consciousness. No, Steph. No. Drop the identification except with the knowing of who you actually are. This is what everything has kind of been pointing towards, isn't it? It's what we've been trying to graduate to. The belief or the desire, where does it sprout from? It sprouts from awareness, from consciousness, from God. How do you choose? By simply being and knowing that it's done. What about your thoughts? What about the intrusive thoughts? What about them? What about my emotions? What about them? They don't stop anything. I know that they don't stop anything. I choose that they don't. And so the only thing for me to do is stay in the or live within that present moment and just be aware that everything is working out perfect. There's nothing else to do. What else is there to do? I'm not doing anything anyway. From the beginning to the end, I don't do anything. I simply walk around being, knowing that I'm everything. Even the desire just comes. And I want it. And okay, cool. And then it just somehow shows up in my life simply by me walking down the path. Well, what if I do this and what if I do that? All paths are perfect. The fullness of God is within every path, within every step, even your seeming mistakes. It's when we try to micromanage the process. Oh, well, what if this is a divine detour and yada, yada, and this is that. Now we're just getting in our way, just making up stories, creating new experiences for us to walk through. There's no choice, decide, same thing. Choice, decide, same thing. It's the realization that you're standing in the middle of a miracle. And if you simply existed, everything would be taken care of. Somehow, some way. I just expect everything to be taken care of, and I simply exist. Surrender to who you are. I mean, what else is there to do? You can have anything that you want, except for a free session with me. Right? Infinite possibilities. Yep. No, I'm just playing. Maybe I should start doing giveaways. It ain't gonna be no hour session, I'll tell you that. It's gonna be like a 15, 30 minute. I offer y'all free sessions every day. Y'all talk about free sessions. I say, hey, anybody want to talk? Hit the join button. No, I don't have anything I need. I got this. Now all of a sudden you want free sessions. You can have that too. You already have that. You already have that. Gifted every day. But yeah, it's absolutely beautiful, right? Absolutely beautiful. Free glazing. Free glazing. That's wild. What else y'all want to talk about? Anybody want to join? Anybody want to join? Found your ring? Who was it? With your divine ass. Because you only have 6%. 6%, by the way. How can you act like you already have it even though you don't already have it? You decide that you like. It's not about acting like you don't have it in reality. Reality is what it is. It's about knowing yourself as the identity of the having, right? I don't need to act like I have $1 million if I only have $10. That, you know what I'm saying? I'll bring a straight jacket for you if you try to do that shit. What I'm saying is that I know myself as source. I know myself as God. I know God dwells within me, whatever your belief is, right? Therefore, I am the abundance. So reality is what it is, but I just know myself as abundance. So that abundance unfolds from within me, and now it animates everything around me. So I become the walking embodiment. We think of it as, if I act this way, things out there will change. No, I simply decide who I am. I'm abundance. Now that abundance flows from me, and it animates everything outside of me. We've been taught to do it backwards. Act as if makes no sense. Act as if? No, you just decide. You remember who you are. It's not about acting it's about remembering. You remember that God dwells within you, that you are already everything. Therefore, everything will be added to you.
Y'all over here trying to put images in everybody mind in the chat. Hello out here aura farming and shit on in the chat. Everybody come check me out. Luna, what it do? I don't know. You tell me. You go check who just checked your profile, and you tell me if it worked. Peace and love. What's good? What's good? What does act as if mean? You just are it. You think it's not acting. It's knowing who you are. Acting, to me, it implies that it says 15 visits. Look at you. Look at you. The profile pic too, it just leaves so much to be desired, right? It's just like, who is that? Who is that? So what is acting as if, right? Acting as if to me implies that if I act as if something out there will really confirm that I am it. No, I just am it. I know that I am it because I am God. Point blank period. I get to the source, right? I'm not dancing. I'm not trying to put, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to, I am not trying to play with reality. Reality is just me. I decide who I am. I'm not playing hide and seek. I'm not begging. Oh, if I do this for long enough, then I'll get it. If I affirm for long enough, if I act like I am it. No, I simply know myself as prosperity. I just am prosperity. It's not a feeling. It's just a fact because I am God, and that is an absolute fact. So there's no acting as if. There's a deciding from a new identity. You've based your identity on the external world and said, oh, because the bank account looks like this, I must be in lack. No, the bank account, the same substance that animates the bank account is the same substance that resides within you. That is just God. And now it flows through you to the bank account and it rearranges to give you what you want when you decide who you are. Well, how is it going to rearrange? Shit, you decide. You open yourself up to miracles. I told y'all stories where money is showing up in people's bank accounts. Why? Because they decided that they were the source of abundance. They no longer waited on the external world to prove to them something that it couldn't. You know damn well. You act like you're waiting for something out there to prove to it. No, you're not. No, you're not. If right now y'all woke up on Christmas Eve and you saw a fat man sliding down a lot of y'all's chimneys, you still wouldn't believe that shit. Belief is a choice. Knowing is a choice. It's just a choice. Knowing is a choice. You got to know who you are before you walk up to the mirror. The mirror is just a reflection. Santa or Jesus, both of them. Both of them. Both of them, Santa and Jesus. Either one show up in front of y'all. Some of y'all be like, who are you? What are you doing? No, I don't believe it. Prove it. Nah, no and Alex, no. Y'all are tripping. Oh, y'all are funny. y'all are funny. Do I have time to chat now? About what? About what? I would, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm not really in the mood. I would, but I only have like 4% battery maybe. I ain't really in the mood to talk to talk to anybody one-on-one right now. Maybe this afternoon. Perhaps. We'll see. Yeah. It doesn't matter why they're saying it. It just matters what you mean. What we try to dig into. Oh, this is happening. I wonder what it means. It doesn't mean anything. You get to give it meaning, or you get to say it means nothing. And from that point of power, right? From the knowing that you are the one that gives everything meaning, so you get to decide, right? It's not about give me a charger with a free shot. That's kind of tempting. Dang, that's kind of tempting. I do love a good charger. I do like that. But you are the one who's able to give meaning to whatever is showing up in your reality, right? You get to decide that. You get to decide that. No, I don't need a charger. See, just because y'all are talking shit and commenting so damn much, y'all gonna make my battery really run out fast. What if it means that you need to speak what I want into my vision? Then that's what it means. You can't ask me what it means. You're God. You're God, Mason. It means what you say it means, right? If that's what you decide that it means, then you'll have more things that show up to prove that to you. You're a woman, you need to talk things through. Isn't that an assumption? That's just a story. You be clinging to that man and women story. I be seeing you in the chat sometimes. Yeah, I go through all the kinds. I be seeing you arguing for, oh, just men are like this, women are like this. That's just an assumption. You're just that's not the truth. That's just your perspective, which is now manifesting it. Okay. If you say something, if you want to be limited by that way of thinking, you can. But you don't have to be. Is all I'm saying. Is you don't have to be. It's just a story, just made up. Because it's real. Look, y'all can argue for your limitations all you want. I'm not going to be involved once I give birth. You can argue for your limitations all you want. You're not convincing me of nothing. There are several people right here that will tell you that the moment that they change their belief about men and women, everything changes. To think that something is outside, to think that something is just what it is denying the infinite nature of God within you. You are saying that, everything is malleable, everything is God. There's infinite ways for everything to unfold, except when it comes to these men and these women, because that's off limits to the touch of God. You're making that your idol. Who said you're doing that? You did. You just said it's real. You did. I ain't putting word in your mouth. You said that. I know you love men that eat cantaloupe. That's why I do it for you on the stream. So you know. See, Mason, you're arguing for your limit. You're clinging to those limitations. There are some very clear limitations, though. You just said, who said that? Who said that I think that, or whatever you said. Now you're saying, but there are some very... See, look at you. You're going back and forth. You don't even know what you believe. Clinging, fighting for that limitation. Stop that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to believe what you don't want to believe. You don't have to believe what you don't like. Unless you enjoy that. You can manifest physical changes instantly too. Absolutely. Y'all can change body parts. You know what I'm saying? If you want that vibranium to extend on you, my brothers, ladies, if you want different body parts, you could. Nah. No, I thought I saw a typo for a second. I surely didn't. That's so funny. Eaters Unite is wild. Prove that though. Y'all are crazy. So what does eaters mean? I have no idea. I have no idea. Yeah, yeah. That's what it means. An eater of fruit. Yeah, especially Disneyland. I don't know if I don't want to say that. No. Yeah, y'all are all eaters for sure. Most definitely. Yeah, it sure is wild in here. Boy, counting down to that battery die. All right. You don't think it means something like that? Yeah, I do have a lot of fun being God, for sure. I have so much fun. I have so much fun. What else is there to do, right? It has given me this freedom of life, knowing that everything is working out. Oh, wait. Yeah, it's just giving me a lot of clarity, a lot of freedom, a lot of peace in my life. Right. To expect God to show up, right, and just show out within my life. Beautiful. Right. It's crazy because just last night I was like, man, it'd be nice to have an eater. And now, manifestations just get answered. It's crazy how things just instantly show up in your reality. It's ridiculous. Huh? For the peace and clarity, my goodness. Man, I swear. I mean, bruh. Don't make me start.